Well, hello there, beautiful people. It's Scent Gourmand Trina here. Very long time no see. It's been many a month. I think the last video I made, if I'm not mistaken, was early July, and it's now October. Gosh, mid-late October already. That's not kosher. But you know, sometimes you just really need a break. I was in burnout mode, baby, and I really did need a break. Last semester, I was teaching double the typical university course load, mostly new curricula to boot. And this semester, after a much needed summer of rest, recovery, and actually a lot of planning, if I'm honest, for this fall, I'm finally starting to rebalance. I've been sick a total of 3 times so far this year. I hope not to get sick again. I had COVID once more. I work with hundreds of young adults, and my health has not been great since getting COVID the first time, so what can I say? But the good news is this semester I'm not only more prepared, but also have a normal course load. That doesn't mean I'll be popping out perfume reviews or bag reviews every week though, as I still have to deal with some course design and of course all of this administration work that we just love here in Japan. But anyway, another reason I think I've been on such a long break is that I was planning to do a review of a line of Byredo fragrances a while back, and I found myself up against a brick wall trying to describe them. You know, describing fragrances is not that easy, although it's fun and that's why I do it. But I think with all the other stuff I had on my plate at the time, I was a tad overwhelmed. I'll get back to those lovely fragrances soon. But today, my lovelies, I want to talk about a celebrity fragrance. Yes, celebrity. And let me tell you, I hate the concept of celebrity fragrances, celebrity branded goods in general. I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. The demographic is typically youth that will often buy anything that their idol's, name is on it. Celebrity branding makes financial sense though, so I guess I have to admit to that. Look at Ryan Reynolds' Aviation Gin or Kylie Cosmetics or Kanye West's Yeezy shoe brand. Fame can create more fortune more easily, and perhaps that's why I have a problem with it. Anyway, I suppose most work hard for that fame and do hold a modicum of passion for the products they proffer, so I shouldn't be too upset. Jessica Parker, for example, is known to have been rather involved and passionate with the creation of her fragrance line, and the results, at least in 1, perhaps 2 fragrances, pretty good, I think. And I believe I have a similar view about Billie Eilish's second fragrance, number 2. This is it. Let's dig in. So I came across this one just last week in a downtown branch of one of Japan's most notorious cheap kitsch chains, Donki Hote, probably almost as famous as Daiso, the ultimate 100 yen store. Like Daiso, Donki Hote is a foreign visitors' Disneyland shopping experience. The prices are good, and there's so much stuff you didn't know you needed or wanted until you go there. For me, sadly, being an old fart, I can't spend too much time in their stores though. The music, Donki Hote, layered over simultaneous energy-packed ads screeching from every corner, and the visual stimuli all at once just exhaust me. And the downtown branch I went to where I discovered this fragrance has multiple floors of maze-like configurations without any windows that send me spiraling into claustrophobic despair. Side note, the basement grocery section has pre-pandemic produce prices, so I will be going there again soon with headphones on to dull the noise so that I can shop in peace. I found out that there's a generous fragrance section in the downtown Donki Hote branch where I live, but most of the stuff is either cheap generic or cheap and generic, and I estimate at least 50% of the stock consists of Japanese brands, not the better ones like Hanai Mori or Kenzo or Issey Miyake. Well, technically the last 2 are French, but anyway, there's a lot of, cheapy fragrances that are not exported that probably none of you know about or would quite frankly be interested in or should be interested in. They do have some designer labels, a little bit of YSL, Chloe, Chanel, and the like, but they're all really overpriced in small bottles. But hey, this one wasn't, so I decided to take a sniff. I didn't even know that this was number 2 until I was intrigued enough to search for more information after sniffing. I discovered there is a red painted Eilish number 3 out there too. Have I been living under a rock? I haven't sniffed her first or third release, but as soon as I had my nose on this, I knew I had to buy it. This fragrance appeals to me in the same way as Boy Toy by Moschino does. I love the potent, peppery rose note in that black teddy bear glass bottle. And let's see, just Eilish No2 here. It also leans masculine, at least in the opening. And it's also peppery. It would appear I'm a pepper person. Now, the performance with this, sadly, is not as good as Boy Toy, let me say, but it's not terrible. Yesterday afternoon, after having worn it for several hours, I sauntered over to my colleague's office to inquire as to how his first classes of the term went, and I commented, "Wow, it smells great in here." And then I realized, hey, wait a minute, that's me. The sillage sneakily followed me down the hall to later surprise me, it would seem. So what does it smell like? Well, hold your horses because I have to vent on the presentation first, the bottle. Do I like it? Well, no, I don't. And I have to admit that it stands out though, and I probably would dislike it less if I hadn't been submerged with all that Kim Kardashian bodycon stuff that preceded it. I can't say I hold a lot of respect for the Kardashian empire. Sorry. But I will make an excuse because it's Billie Eilish. I really actually like Billie Eilish. She's talented. Her and her brother's music is interesting and unique, and she never sexualized herself as a youth. She just behaved her age, so to speak, and I really like that. And she's a well-endowed young woman, so I guess the heavy boobage here is appropriate. Anyway, I'll be decanting this soon enough because fondling plastic boobs, actually this part is metal, when I go for the spray, does not really float my boat. What does put the wind in my sails, however, is the smell, especially the opening. Here are the notes. So this fragrance, Eilish No2, is marketed as unisex, and that's a good choice. The sleek black metallic sheen of the bottle mans up the image. Younger generations of humans are more fluid when it comes to matters of gender and sexuality, so I think that despite the female bodice, guys might dig this resting on their shelves. I can imagine my brother, like 30 years ago, saying, "That's so gay," to a friend who had this on his bedroom shelf. That's a stupid comment. First, because it equates the joyful word gay. Insult. And second, what teenage heterosexual boy wouldn't want to look at this? Anyway, right out of the bottle, this stuff smells great. Very different, apparently, from the No. 1 fragrance, which comes in a gold-colored bottle of the same design. There's a soft and sweet wood smell that is lavishly and lovingly dusted with an ample scoop of finely ground black pepper, dried vanilla powder, and perhaps some other spices. But the main essence that I'm getting here is the woodsy notes. There's an ebony wood, which is really soft and sweet and almost milky. The creaminess and earthiness at the core of the fragrance is lovely. The papyrus note lends a bit of greenness, tempered nicely with bright apple blossom and bergamot coating. Those top notes add a tinge of freshness to what is essentially a warm, spicy wood fragrance. The Palo Santo at the base purportedly has medicinal qualities, and as an ingredient in perfumery, it could refer to the woods, the resin, or the oil. I'm not sure which is in here, but I'll bet it's the woods. This fragrance is creamy and quite soothing. For me, Eilish No2 does quickly become more generic with time on my skin, and it does hover close to skin with time too. I mean, most fragrances do that, but it tends to happen much faster with fragrances that don't break the bank, sadly. Now, I sniffed this before I bought, but this would have been a good, safe blind buy for me, and probably for most men. But my guess is that there are probably going to be ladies out there for whom this is perhaps too masculine. There's a floral note in here, apparently. Poppy? But heck, I couldn't tell you what a poppy smelled like if you whacked me over the head with a bouquet of the stuff. It's red. It's very Flanders Fields for my fellow Canadians out there. A very appropriately dark and solemn vibe from those poppies filled in equal parts with respect, appreciation, and love, darlings, love. This was a good purchase. I think I prefer the peppery rose in Boy Toy to the peppery smoky sweet wood in Eilish No. 2, but only because of Boy Toy's amazing bang for your buck performance. And of course I do like rose. I'm reminded of LeLabo Santal 33, but sweeter, spicier, and less stringent. Oh, and there is vanilla in here, and perhaps that helps bring out the sweetness, but I reckon the sweetness stems more from the wood notes. You know, in my opinion, there's nothing more classy and luxurious than a well-blended sandalwood type of fragrance. Take this well-blended sandalwood type fragrance from Lucky Scent. This is Amorescence. Have I talked about these before? If I haven't, I better hurry up because they're both more than halfway empty. This is another one that's got a chocolatey vibe. It's Adorum. Anyway, this beautiful wood, it's pure luxury, and I'm sorry, the lasting power on this is way better. This is just a higher quality scent than Eilish. But you know, this is a 50 ml bottle and it was 6,000 yen. By today's price standards, that's not too shabby. Eilish No. 2 definitely pairs better with fall and winter, and probably evening rather than day, but I'll be wearing this to work and then dousing myself with more of it during the evening, I think. It's a good Halloween scent, and that's just down the road for me right now. Good for the witches, the ghouls, the spooks, and the things that sensually go bump in the night. And yet, I think this can also be Christmassy. It carries like a cozy vibe similar to Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace, but no, it doesn't smell like it. I mean, this is colder, more metallic, damper. The wood is dry, yet the atmosphere around it feels wet. There's a Billie Eilish campaign for this, and I think this speaks really well, the colors in there and the atmosphere. It speaks well to the smell in this bottle. I do believe Eilish No. 2 also comes in 100 ml and 30 ml size bottles. I guess 150 and 30 ml sizes are the norm now. Billie Eilish fragrances boast a cruelty-free vegan stamp of approval, which is hard to be against. Okay, fellow fume heads, I love you and will leave you now. I've got a conference presentation to prepare. I've got 2 presentations to prepare, actually, one of which is in Okinawa. Woohoo! And I must get out and purchase some futons for some international guests who will be crashing on my tatami mats very shortly. So I'll smell you later. Scent Gourmand, signing out. Mwah. Thank you.